Hey guys, welcome back. Hunters facing up against the Dragons for your second match of this wonderful evening, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you are. For mine in Hex is, though, it's quite late night, quite late.
Oh, well, I've lost track of what year it is, what day it is, what hour it is. It doesn't really matter. It all kind of just blends together and nebulous. Actually, the only time I know what day it is if Overwatch is on or not. I'm like, oh, yeah,
genuinely
cool.
same.
There's my alerts. I guess
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's that and my Korean lesson every Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, I think I had one yesterday, and then I look at the time. I'm like, wow, it's tomorrow. Wow, what the hell? Like, this has gone incredibly quickly. It's time and space is just bending into one, and it's kind of frightening reality. But do you know what's not frightening? Some fun Overwatch, which is exactly what we just had. I'm going to continue to do so. Dragons facing up against Hunters Hex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with fun. Like, when Chengdu plays, they're always fun. It doesn't matter. Like, that's their brand. They built it pretty well over the last couple of years. Is that they're gonna do their own thing. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, why do people play down to Chengdu? Why is everything?" It's like I've always loved Chengdu, and it's one because I find them fun to cast. Two because I like being surprised, and Chengdu always surprises me. Starting lineup this week though, not all that surprising.
Yeah, I want to see Wrecking Ball. Just give me more Wrecking Ball. Problem is Sombra exists, but then we have Amon on Wrecking Ball. Like, it's a decision, unfortunately, the Hunters have to make, and I think, personally, they should probably pick some Wrecking Ball. Some Dive as well, which works out exceptionally well for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to see it because you want to see Amon absorb another tank's power, as he's known to do in the past. He came in as the most prolific Hammond, a.k.a. Wrecking Ball, in the league. Or is it the other way around? I don't remember. I think I call him Hammy. Anyway, you mostly just call him Ball. Ball is in because he's in ball form most of the time. So he will be playing the tank role, and he's a fan favorite, obviously, just based on his playstyle and how he can play other tanks. Elsa will also be playing. The support line will be KO and Eviltall, and also Jinmu and Leave, who've been super fun to watch. Leave played the Not McCree. I believe the hero's name is Ash. And Jinmu, I mean, he's the most prolific Pharah that we have in the league.
Yeah, I want to see more Ash from Leave. It was insanity.
He got nano-ashed and then just hit this flick headshot that everyone's like, okay, I mean, that's just
well,
what
he's
Leave
good at the
does,
game. Wrap it up, guys. He's good. Pack it in. Let's have a look at the Dragons, though. Their starting lineup, Hex.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because Luffy's going to be playing today. I don't think he's seen a ton of playtime all throughout the year, so it's going to be interesting to see him. And, of course, if you liked IDK's playstyle, you're going to like Lee Jae-gon, also a very good Lucio player aggressively. Void has been playing out of his mind. I think he's been playing one of the better Sigmas in the league based on the small samples that we have. He'll be joined by Fearless on the tank line, and Lip and Ding will be offering the damage for the Shanghai Dragons. They have a lot of talent on this team.
There's a lot of talent that came into the Overwatch League this year as well. Lee Jae-gon, Gangnam Jin coming through from contenders. In fact, a lot of contenders, Korean players moving their way up. It's been really exciting to see that, honestly. Like, casting players, but both from obviously the EU region and Korean region I did last year. And it's cool to see those players and names that you casted for so long, then move up into Overwatch League. Obviously, I did the same, so like following their path up almost. Lee Jae-gong especially, and Gangnam Jin, I said they're probably the best supports to come into the league this year, and they haven't really let me down since. The Dragons are on a tear too, 5-1 currently scoreline.
They're looking pretty good right now. A lot of people have them in top of their power rankings, but it is funny, like the players you cast coming up are just players you'll always have affinity for. Like I like all the old school Western players, right? Like Sinatra and Super, like all those guys are what I came up casting back in the day, and also some of these players from the Chinese region. They've been playing for a while, and I covered some Chinese Overwatch for a while too. So it's always nice to make the journey with people here. We are going to kick it off on Oasis. And I think we are probably going to have a Pharah mirror match, and I'm for it. Top Gun, let's go.
Amon on Wrecking Ball. Go. We're going to... Oh, no, Jinmu.
Maybe it's to Scout.
No, it's not, because it's Control. Who scouts on
No, it's not. Yeah, I know.
Oh, he's scouting on Control. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not.
What's Leave doing?
Well, they're changing comms. Let's just silence ourselves for a brief moment before we see the comms. There we go. Okay, now we're in. There's been a lot of deciding today. It's been a lot of just waiting and seeing what the enemy team are going to run. But that does mean Ding's going to be able to set up early on this Pharah.
A lot of costume changes have happened in the spawn room so far today.
Oh my goodness, that cleave damage is insane. Among's already 30% of the way, but that's a punch and a rocket to end his life rather swiftly. Leaves in the backline though, already almost one-shotting Li Gong. Yveltal eventually finishes him off with a boot. Big trades coming through. Shanghai Dragons looking on up though, as Fearless and Void managed to dispatch at the backline. There's Lee and Elsa going down. Point should be capped rather easily. And now, like I said before, the comp that normally sets up earlier on, especially with the Pharah, is going to have a big advantage. Ding almost baited the tanks in, it felt like, from the Hunters.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see Fearless play. I believe he's one of the very few holdovers from the very first, maybe second Shanghai Dragons team. Can't necessarily call, but nice to see him getting some playtime here. Just straight up, really just dive right now, and look how much faster Lip has this EMP.
Already got online. Jimmu's sitting at only 55%. Yeah, he's going to hit it now. If you're Hunters, you're already expecting it, to be fair. There's the EMP. Leave and Amon is... yeah, they're not going to go down just yet. I said that. I thought Amon was just going to get instantly blown up, but he did manage to escape with the help of the supports. That still leaves Dragons in a good situation, but they still control the point. Hack onto Elsa. Now he can't do anything to Ding. And Lip's still up in the sky, just protecting his supports. Nothing really touching the supports of the Dragons at all. They're feeling pretty fearless. EMP onto 3, though, is looking pretty good. Coalescence got cancelled by a manual hack, but it doesn't matter, because Ding's already dead. And now the tanks can just claim all the space they want. Amon just pushing Fearless away. Self-destruct, though, just managed to finish him off. Amon was in Primal Rage as well. Just put himself in a rather risque position, and now Fearless matching that Primal Rage for Primal Rage, taking out Leave. All the meanwhile, though, Hunters did manage to find the cap, but they did only get 17% as Dragons find the retake.
Yeah, really nice play there, and now the Dragons are in a pretty good spot at 55%, and a barrage, and another EMP ready to come up from Lip. Like, I think he has just burst on to the Overwatch League scene, especially on this Sombra. He is just crushing people. They're gonna have a nano barrage ready. They might just wait it out. Void gets a heat.
Don't need nano barrage, you just got a barrage. Ding straight on top of the heads. You ain't surviving that one, my friend, and they can just save that EMP for the next fight as Leave and Elsa bite the dust.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, well, that's ideal.
With one fight remaining and just sitting on an EMP. Jimmu's going to have his available as well, though.
It's ideal to use one ultimate, but I mean, the EMP barrage gets you 6Ks, and I'm a big fan of lighting up the kill feed. However, it's really smart to be holding that EMP there. It is the only thing that Shanghai has right now. So if Chengdu's smart, they'll EMP, maybe bait out the EMP, but they have the sound barrier to back up.
Yeah, Jimmu has to hide. He's got to know. He has to know that Lip has EMP at this point. Beats available as well, like you said. It's already tailored 2 EMPs once more. There's the EMP on the front line. Beat comes out to save at least a couple of people. Ding and Leave end up trading. Now the point has to be contested. Hunters putting the groundwork in, killing off Lucky in the end. Jimmu holding on to his EMP. The perfect situation for Hunters to be in for this retake. That'll be Fearless going down, and the recap is there. Hunters now with the advantage of ults. Ding's going to come back with a barrage, but that's going to be met with swiftly an EMP if he's not careful, or just a manual hack as well if you can get a defense matrix off to protect Jimmu.
So it's getting a lot closer to 3-man EMP.
All right, GG. Go,
Yeah.
go next fight.
I mean, at least they did them the service of killing them immediately instead of just waiting around.
Yeah, normally I prefer that you actually just bait them in. You do waste a little bit more time there as well. Using it there earlier on, hey, you got a lot of ult charge for the rest of your team.
I mean, I just think if you see a chance to win a fight, you just take it. It doesn't really matter where you are on the map. Jinmu's already at 17% again, and that's a critical kill onto Lip. You might pass him an EMP charge again.
You might just do. And now you're sitting on Leave with a pulse bomb as well. If he can connect that onto Lucky, there's nothing really there to save him. It's a very good position for Hunters to be in. And they've taken these fights just so early and aggressively. I mean, like you said, you might as well. Lip's going to out-damage Jimmu, at least for the time being. There's the nano, there's the barrage. Amon instantly blowing up without that primal rage. He's not going to be any use in this fight. Now Leave caught off guard. Ding with one swift rocket does end his life. Dragons now looking for the recap. They have 99%, but Hunters are building up for one of their own. Amon is going to come back with the primal rage, but Ding still ruling the skies, pushing everybody away from the point as they eventually find the recap.
No, Dragons are going to reach a lot of ultimates here too. An EMP and a self-destruct are going to come out. Valkyrie just for good measure right away.
The sleep in the skies, the self-destruct on point. Doesn't manage to quite land or kill off Amon. A beautiful EMP on point, but it's met with the beat. perfectly timed on the side, and a repeat beat for Lip as the rest of the Hunters are going to fall by the wayside. The pulse bomb landed, but is actually going to be enough. Ding loses his pocket, but is still alive and well in the skies. 84 HP, and is not going to get ticked down just yet as he goes hyper-aggressive, trying to kill the backline of Hunters. OT depletes, and the Dragons end up taking University.
Yeah, it was a close one. It was a nice sleep dart on the end on Kyo. Of course, you saw the cleanup there come from the far, but it's the dart that ends up taking him out to begin with. That one was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. The chaos at the end is the classic Chengdu style, and they came in with all the ults. Eviltold jumped off the point late at the end, but I don't think that one really matters. Really, I'm intrigued by this Sombra matchup. Both Lip and Jinmu are playing really well on the Sombra. They're going after each other kind of aggressively to deny the other one alt charge. Both charging EMP at about 1 minute 30 spat each. They're pretty much dead even on this hero right now.
Just more aim on Monkey. Oh, not brightening my evening too much. Please swap the ball. Just this once, please.
Well, I mean,
I hate playing against Wrecking Ball, but seeing aim on Wrecking Ball is pretty spicy. Although, obviously, you're against a Sombra, so it's almost a death sentence. Ding, once again on the fire, he's going to be met by lead. Don't take the fight to the skies. Might be taking a little bit of punishment. Oh, surfing there just a little bit, just managed to keep himself alive. Sleep Dart did end up missing, went straight to the defense mage, who was trying to heal up Fearless, who ended up getting booped off of the high ground. Hunters now in a position where they can cap the point rather easily, and in fact some of the Dragons aren't even out of the fight just yet, so staggered deaths now for both Lucky and Void.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. Void is going to get demacked and probably jump off the edge.
Oh,
there it is. And yeah, well, he escorted off. He was on his way off, but you trying to want to get that percentage. You want to get the last ticks in on those heroes that are suiciding. Yep. Now Ding on the Pharah, 62%. And this is... I mean, Chengdu's played it pretty well, but this is going to start to remind me of just Nero raiding death from above and the other team not being able to do anything about it.
Where was the rest of Hunters? Amon just kind of jumped in. You saw perfectly there from Lip's POV. He went in. The rest of the Hunters were almost a little bit too scared to follow him up. Lever's got the pulse bomb. Jinmu and Lip, let's keep an eye on their ult charge. They're both ready to unleash the EMP as the Dragons are contesting the point and do manage to find the flip once more. Regardless of losing the monkey there, Chengdu Hunters were forced to play passive as they were scared of the EMP. They have got beat available for them, and they have got EMP themselves, but they are waiting really for Ding to reveal himself with this Nano Barrage.
Yeah, both teams with the EMPs, and this always comes down to, can you catch the other Sombra in it? Can you catch supports in it? And a lot of times it's the team that EMPs first. Big EMP comes in the corridor, catches 4.
Yeah, can they actually follow up with any meaningful damage there to counter EMP? And Jinmu trying to tank the front line. Ding already finds 2 lives there, both supports. Damage is now permanent. If you were the Hunters, you're just going to get chased down, or at least the rest of the Hunters are going to get chased down. Nice little resurrection onto Fearless, though. We'll keep him in the fight for now. Plus, Li Jing on in the skies, using the Valk, keeping everybody alive and well, and keeping himself pretty invincible. Beautiful pickoffs at the start. As soon as those supports die, you know the fight's over. You've got to escort yourselves out quick sharp.
Yeah, you know the fight's over, but then you still throw the EMP in there. I mean, I don't really like that from Jinmu at all. He had just lost 2 of his supports, and that fight's just never going to go your way unless you just have hero moments. But even him, he's gonna EMP and get out. So what are you leaving your team with? Like a 3v6? It's not feeling great.
Vitus is going to play this a little bit more defensively. You see counter jumping in there in the back line. Spots 1. Your Hotel goes instantly down, but they do trade supports. There will be Kyo going down once more. The perfect, or almost triangulated attack for the Dragons. Again, finds Hunters in the worst position possible. I'm going to question where these defensive abilities are really coming from the Hunters. This fade must be blowing so early for Kyo. And now they're 90%. They're running into an EMP and potentially a barrage coming up next, Hex.
It's always been the issue with the Hunters, is just generally poor ultimate usage, and somehow they're able to just out-comp people, and it doesn't end up mattering. Amon's so low right now.
Oh my god, that EMP only hit 1, but it might just be enough. Yeah, Amon was in the back, like you said, was kind of soloing there, almost ended up going down instantly as after the slap landed Fluffy. Oh, 180 sleep, disgusting! Oh my goodness, Jinmu doesn't know what hit him. Hunters are going to find the flip, and it doesn't really matter in the end because Dragons are just going to clean this one up. Luffy has just felt immortal, and that's really what you want as the Ana, just being able to use sleeps and nades aggressively. Dings high in the sky, cleaning the rest of this fight up. The Hunters are going to go down. His self-destruct has to be huge. It's going to get bubbled off, though. And Dragons still sitting on ults. Jinmu has got 1 HP and a dream. He's got the EMP, but he's going to need to catch Ding, who got nanoed at the end as well. Stall tactics coming through, but it's not enough. The Hunters are going to fall. Dragons taking Oasis 2-0.
Just sitting up top on that Ana for... a second you'd think that they're exposed, right? It's just the Ana, the tanks are kind of diving all over the place, but again, with the mobile heroes, and this is what we saw in the previous set, the tanks can always come back and help out the Ana if they're ever in trouble, and you're never really alone when you've got a satellite that's just raining rockets on the other team. And I like that the Pharah and Mercy never went too far out, never went too aggressive, because if anyone needs help back on the point, you're there and you're putting in damage, and a lot of times it's not even the kills that you need. If you put one rocket in on a Tracer and it's not damage boosted and she lives through it, then that's ability's gone and she's out. Like, it's as good as a kill. The ability's gone and out. So it looks like the Ana's playing alone up top, but safe as day because everyone's coming to help, and then you just saw the performance putting out sleep darts and just constant healing. Just great play.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, it's forcing out abilities. That's why I wondered halfway through that, where is this fade going? Because the Moira is always dying so early. Yveltal doesn't really want to use that beat to engage because of the EMP that's waiting for them on the other side as well. Tough situation for the Hunters to be in. However, the Dragons looking up so far. 5-1 already in the standings. They're looking to make that 6-1 if they can beat the Hunters now. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Map number 2 coming up soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, helping you stay connected to what matters most. Learn about T-Mobile's COVID-19 response on T-Mobile.com.
And by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch. It's a mind crunch.
And by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
What went wrong for the Hunters? It feels like Among was on a different page to the rest of his team. It felt like the supports were on, maybe the back of the book. Maybe they were just on the blurb. I'm not entirely sure. All I do know is that Dragons looking mighty clean. Luffy and Ding just putting on a show.
Yeah, Questions of Disorganization, also the name of my autobiography. You can check it out at fine booksellers anywhere if those still exist. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the bugaboo on Chengdu is that they play such a different style and a hectic style where they rely on everybody to kind of get their job done, that when it doesn't work, it just looks really uncoordinated and poor. The Chengdu is just kind of a team that looks like that, but there's some silver lining for your Hunters fans, right? Like, the Shanghai Dragons have only lost 4 maps all year. All 4 of them are to Chengdu. they got swept 0-3 to start the year, and they've won every game since, dropping a map here and there. Like, the only teams that have taken maps off the Shanghai Dragons have been the Chengdu Hunters. One of the maps that Chengdu was able to beat Shanghai on happens to be Dorado, which should be a clue that we're going to Dorado next.
Would you look at that?
Look at that.
Prophecies have foretold Dorado.
Now, this was in their sweep early in the year, the 3-0, so who knows what Shanghai were feeling. It was their first match of the year, happened to be week 8 of the Overwatch League, as we've made adjustments throughout the year, so maybe just call it a fluke and move on. I mean, it's really hard to prep for Chengdu as your first match of the Overwatch League season.
It really is. Like,
It's
well,
just
so
unfair.
guys, what have you been playing in the off-season, huh? Well,
Mystery
you don't
Heroes.
even know.
They're playing the Chengdu Mystery Hero Special, as they always do. And yes, let's see it. Not McCree. Ashe is coming in. Leave on the Ashe. This is everything I hoped for.
Well, Ding might have something a little bit extra to wrestle with now.
Well, and they're going to run the Pharah themselves, too. This has been their most successful composition. This is what they crushed with recently. Like, if any team was going to run something that no one else runs, it would be Chengdu. I mean, it's why they have the fans they have. They're unpredictable. They're fun. But Leave is actually just a god-tier player, too, so I'm pretty sure he can make the Ashe work. We'll see what Shanghai wants to run in response to this, but it seems like this would be the Shanghai composition. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
The Bob. Do it. Ignore Leave.
Do it,
Bob.
cowards.
Do it.
Well, yeah, they also made a switch to Molly's in, and Molly's been playing very well for the Hunters this year.
Yes, very well. You mean just perma-plonked. It's his support's job currently. Well, he's going to have to, of course. There's Veltos in the sky.
One.
Jiro. Nice direct. Nah, I think he's going to be able to back down. It's good that they're kind of dueling out here. We obviously saw a scenario before where Nero was just able to take over the skies. Backline.
Get
Nice
him,
direct
tags him
onto
again.
Ding. He's taking so much. Nice bio grenade in the front though. Elsa and Among lighting up white purple. The Dragons are going to be able to get a lot of movement here. It's a bit of an awkward situation for Ding. If he does battle on these roofs, that splash damage can do a whole bunch. Speaking of splash damage, Fantastical does a whole lot too. Among is going to go down. There's a fire grenade finish off. Dragons are going to move the payloads on to first. Hunters are going to be able to recontest.
Look at the barrage percentage. Jinwoo's there. Thing's at 30.
Easy.
That's insanity. I want to make a note of the stats. How many direct rockets has Jinwoo hit on opposing Pharahs? I guess they're going to go up the point anyway, though, but still, I'm still impressed by the power play.
That's okay, as long as you're impressed.
Yeah, that's what all these pros aim for.
That's
is
yeah,
Hex impressed.
Impressing Hex. Well, that was pretty impressive. You should be impressed with that one, Hex. A beautiful dive on the back line, following Yveltal through the skies. He was trying to move away. Also, Hunters didn't actually want to contest there, which is a bit odd. It was a 5v6, and they decided, you know what, we'll take it on the second point, but Dragons took that in their stride and managed to force them all the way up to the second.
Well, Hunters haven't contested anywhere thus far.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah,
been the
you're actually
hunted.
just not wrong. Like, they tried, but kind of failed. Ding has almost got a barrage too. He's got to be careful though, because Jinwoo is hanging around in the background. No mortality, but it feels like Baptiste would be actually pretty good in this situation. But Molly and Luffy are nearing both nanos. Ding is just now rocketing himself inside. Molly and Elsa end up going down. There's the barrage, insta-kill. Oh, they saw it coming. And that was the Battle Mercy trying to take out Ding, but double pocket, even an attempted sleep. And Yveltal just got launched into the stratosphere at Mach 10. Luffy now going to bio-grenade the front line, and that is all she wrote for Hunter's defense on the second point as well. This has been not even a single contest, it feels like. 5 minutes and 20 seconds. If this was my Q game, I'd have probably left boys by now.
There's only 2 eliminations so far for Chengdu right now, and it is Jinwoo. He's got 2. No one else has anything. That means that Leave doesn't have anything. Just everyone else is getting rocked. It seems like they're staggering. They're not coming in correctly. And Jinwoo, even on the Pharah, was just a mile away with his support, and Ding saw it. It's like, okay, I'll just take the stairs then and kill the rest of your team. And by the time Jinwoo responded, it was way too late.
That supercharger went out, and the attempted grab by Amon, it just goes wide completely.
I know this Ash feeling. For whatever reason, you just can't hit a shot.
You just, yeah.
You just can't hit it. Like, you hit one, but you'll never get the second or third.
Oh yeah, but Bob has a literal aimbot. He cannot miss. EMP though in the back line, leaving Amon in a little bit of trouble. Fearless is going to chase him up with the Primal Rage, and that'll be Ding clearing up the rest of the team. Hunters, they're going to flop. This is disastrous. There just has not been a fight.
Bob has auto aim, but I think his gun has spread too, so he'll miss shots if you're far away.
It doesn't feel like it, I'm just saying. Yeah. Bob is the best. There's the nano on the barrage. Ding, immortal up in the skies. Nice kill by Molly though. Does land it on to Luffy, that bio grenade, but they're a couple of meters away from actually just losing this payload, losing control of the map as well. Lijiagong is going to find the res onto Luffy, brings him back to life. That'll be Molly going down. 0.5 meters remains as Leave and Jinmu end up falling. And Amon gets hacked, so he couldn't even actually touch the payload. Almost a 4-minute time bank for the Dragons. This is slaughter.
I mean, it was a nice kill by Malian and Luffy. You're right. That was the Chengdu Hunters' third kill of the entire match. Look, I mean, I've been watching Shanghai, and it's hard to tell based on like the competition, but this is the first game we've gotten to cast Shanghai, and they look really, really unstoppable. Like, what? You just played your opponent's best hero better than they did. I mean, Ding was losing the Sky Duel, so he decided to stop doing it. He's like, I'm not going to eat these rockets for no reason and just give Jinmu barrage. I'll just go fight the other team. And unless Jinmu's being aggressive and pressuring him, that's exactly what he did. You saw it on second, where Ding was just kind of ignoring him, firing a token rocket his direction every once in a while, keeping Jinmu under the impression that they were still fighting. But Ding was not fighting. He was going to the stairs and to try to kill people. And yeah, Shanghai just bodied Chengdu. And Chengdu's the only team in this region that has given Shanghai any sort of fight so far. So yeah, Shanghai Dragons look like a legit team, at least based on the competition they're playing. Like, they've only played like 3 different teams, so.
True, but still looking rather clean. Like you said, I want to touch on that second point again, because Jinmu, like you mentioned, was just so far away, and it did feel like Ding was kind of keeping him at bay, but as soon as Jinmu tried to make a play, I feel like it cracked his mental a little bit, because he tried to make a play, and what happened? He got a kill, but then it got deleted. And there was not really much else you could do from there. You're winning the 1v1, you're feeling confident, but then your team's kind of crumbling around you, not much you could do. Speaking of crumbling, what is that? Liv just killed 2. He also meleeed Yveltal there. He got the hack, and then he meleeed him, and he was like, "Well, you're just dead. There's no point me even trying at this point."
But I mean, that's I mean, you kind of want to give it just like tape study maybe, or just seeing like, hey, they always roll out this far left side. If I'm up there, I think I can get something done. And the rest of his team was helping him out too, and just a little bit of focus, team effort, and takes down the combo with his Sombra of all things. I think it's one of those things where you just study the other team's rollout, or you get lucky once. I'm gonna, opt to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, like, yeah, that's just tape study, and they crushed that rollout.
Well, they did. They're back in the 1v1. Yeah, like you mentioned.
And Ding's taking it.
Like, getting demolished. And now, look, he's diverted his attention completely. Jimmy's going to have to do the same thing, though, as his front line is in a little bit of trouble. But Hunter's still getting the cart moving, which is what's important. Issue I'm finding right now is Liv is just getting so much more ult charge as well. On this EMP, he's doing a lot more damage in this back line. In fact, the front line, he's just playing up front. 80-90%, make that an EMP in a couple of seconds. The Dragons are going to be able to sit on this for a long time as well, just waiting for Ding to build up this barrage. It's going to be up to Hunters to really crack this one wide open, because Dragons don't really need to make a play here.
Defender's advantage. Ding eats another rocket.
Goodness. Oh. And then he got instantly nanoed as well. That was the opening they were looking for. Luffy dead. Ding dead. The rest of them are going to fall over. Lip eventually falls down. Did have EMP, but doesn't really want to use it. They know they can go for this big recontest. 2 minutes on the clock for Hunters. There are still signs of life in this roster. It's just getting to the next point is going to be even harder. What? Are you serious? He's a sniper. He has a 20x on his rocket launcher. A double direct from infinite miles away. And because it was infinite miles, they were able to get the res on him.
I mean, that res actually might end up being important here as we go through. It's a total that Chengdu has the res. Meanwhile, Shanghai doesn't. Did he fall on the wrong side of the roof, though?
Nope.
No, right side.
He good.
A little lucky with the math on that.
Oh my goodness. And straight through the defense matrix and around the D.Va. He manages to kill Luffy. Still, Shanghai Dragons waiting on ult, but do they want to fight it now that they're down a support? It doesn't look like it. Oh. Lift, pushed down, dragged back up, and instantly killed by Elsa. Luffy does end up getting resurrected, but now they're down their EMP, so once again, Chengdu Hunters just picking at the Dragons bit by bit by bit.
Yeah, no one's really playing defense on this map. I mean, look, that rocket was 10% luck, 20% skill, something. But Chengdu's in a great spot. Look at all these ultimates. Leave is unfortunately hacked right now, but he goes down. That's huge.
Battle in the air once again. Ding taking a whole bunch of damage, yet getting taken out by Molly. He went straight to the back, didn't realize the Ana was there. Now Jinmu can play up to the front, self-destruct in the back, ends up missing, but still scatters the rest of the team. Li Jiagong managed to find a cheeky res when he was in Valkyrie, getting back. Ding up into the fray. There's the nano, there's the barrage, there's the EMP. That should be it. Dragons throwing 4 ults in, the tank line dying. And Jinmu wondering what happened. He tried to try and take out Ding in the skies, but there was just too much protection for him.
Just got snuck up on. The res right behind Jinmu's back. He's unable to deny it. And then with that res, both of them have to fly past him in the sky. They do just that. And just get the barrage in way before Jinmu did. Now, this is not a terrible situation for Chengdu. They've got the EMP and barrage combination, whereas Shanghai has nothing to work with. It's one of those things where, on paper, this should be good, but that can't happen.
Transcator destroyed and instantly got jumped on. And now, again, you are having Ding just destroying the front line. They are waiting for Leave to kind of set up. It's a ridiculously good pick to find it, because now Chengdu Hunters are going to have to take the time to do that.
Yeah, Ding just dominating the server right now. He's got 14 final blows. The next closest is actually Void with 9. Can't say enough about how well Void has played this year. I think a couple of the Gladiators just needed a little change of scenery, because Decay and Void have been having monumental years.
Monumental, and they want to keep that pressure on. Like we mentioned before, Chengdu Hunters only, their Shanghai Dragons' only loss this season has been against the Hunters. Luffy gets jumped on, forced to use grenade. There's the EMP. Fearless is going to get caught out. Void as well. Counter EMP could potentially be here if Lip manages to get it in time. Fearless booped away. Still has that Primal Rage in his back if he really needs it. Eventually, Lip gets his EMP available, and just subverting all of that damage towards the tanks was perfect for the Dragons, as Fearless is not dead just yet. Plus, managed to earn himself a Primal Rage. Hacked, EMP'd, slept, nothing Amon can really do. The rest of the team are going to go down. Jinmu knocked out of the skies, and Fearless chases him on up. He might be able to chase the baby D.Va as well. Might not be able to get the remake. Amon eventually gets back up. Oh, look at that! Naded and slept once again. Luffy is having the game of his life as well. Dragons now controlling the payload once more, as Chengdu Hunters have 1 minute in the time bank left to try and get it towards this second point.
Luffy just negated 2 ultimates with 2 sleep darts. Negated nano and negated primal, just with darts.
He's a gamer. He is ridiculously good at this video game. He's going to get jumped on though, as I say that. Use the nade to heal the rest of his team. Selfless, almost. Li Jiagong trying to do the same thing, trying to get back up Luffy, but he ends up going down, and now Luffy's the solo healer for the Dragons. Still waiting on that EMP from Leave, however, don't need it as the Dragons are forced to back off. The recontest is possible though. 15 seconds remaining, and Ding does have that barrage. He's going to get met with Amon. A big sleep actually onto Fearless, does get woken up. Void throws in that self-destruct. 3 meters remains for the Hunters, and OT about to tick through. Jinmu's going to get spotted out of the sky as they do end up trading. Li Jiagong and Jinmu end up going down, but Ding's still alive in the air. Yveltal though comes up absolutely clutch. Pistol whipping Ding in the skies and getting the resurrect. OT was there for the Hunters, but they still managed to get it. 1 minute and 20 seconds now. Hex remains for them to cap this final point.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to run far on this point, but I think that they are going to be committed to it. A single hack on Jinmu, make sure that he's not as mobile, but he's just fine. Pump him in through the damage here. EMP is ready for Shanghai. They really only have to win 2 fights here. Take a 2-0 lead in the series.
Yeah, you could EMP fairly early as well here. Or in fact, late. You know Leave has actually used the EMP already. Kind of bait the Hunters in, say, come to me. We're playing a little bit more risky. But Leave opens it up with a beautiful kill onto Luffy. An EMP onto Yveltal, but he's not dead just yet. Molly ends up dying in the end as Lee Jae-gong ends up getting up Luffy. 2 healers on board for the Dragons. Way more healing now as the Yveltal ends up going down to Luffy of all people. He gets resurrected, then finds 2 kills. 3, in fact, as Leave ends up going down. What more could you ask for from your Ana player?
I'm not greedy. I'm just happy with heals usually.
Yeah, I mean, well, it'd be like that sometimes, as they say. 20 seconds now remains, Hex. What can they really do? Jinmu's going to have to force himself to touch. He's strange open to the Tracer of all things, and Dragon's still sitting on a wealth of ults.
Yeah, I mean, Fearless gets slept, but then the Neo Barrage, you can't even do anything about it, really. Nice self-destruct that was going to take down a sleeping Fearless. That's not a fun fight to have.
Ding is still nano, so he's getting a little less damage dealt to him. He's still playing rather passive too. A resurrection onto Fearless, as he did go down to self-destruct, but brought right back to life again to suffer a hack and some more damage. But the support line for Dragons way too strong at this point. Leave opens up with an EMP. 3 people hit. Fearless focused down with a bio grenade to follow it up, but still Ding doing the damage. And Lee Jae-gong in the skies healing everybody up with a Valkyrie. This is Chengdu Hunters' last-ditch attempt to try and get into 3rd point. Their tanks are doing work in the front line, and Luffy's front line is crumbling. The Dragons are still going to be able to recontest. Maybe not so much anymore, as Ding actually ends up getting hacked and goes down. The time bank is still in the back of their minds, though. 3 minutes and 52 seconds versus potentially only a minute. Jinmu, Among, they fill the kill feed with Chengdu Hunters colours. And now the EMP is going to be the one thing that they need to come back to this. But Lip ends up falling down, or at least getting waylaid just a little bit. Void and Luffy end up following, and that'll be the Hunters capping, but only a minute in their time bank versus almost 5. It looks almost unwinnable.
Yeah, especially given the compositions that these teams want to run. Like we've talked about the Pharah and Sombra being an inevitable composition. If you get both those ultimates up, you should definitely win those fights. But with a minute, yeah, we've seen Jinmu charge his barrage very, very quickly. But can Leave get an EMP in under a minute? It's possible, but you have to play kind of risky for it. So I wonder if there's going to be any changes as they come out. But I was just looking at Ding's screen there, and if you notice bottom left-hand corner, there's a little icon with one of the roles in it. That's what our role stars here, kind of like our All-Pro system, or our All-Star. Well, All-Pro would be more apt. But there's a reason that Ding was a role star and is for the remainder of this year on the damage class, and a lot of it goes back to his Pharah play. Now, Jinmu's the one who plays it more often and more consistently, so he's often associated with the Pharahs of the Overwatch League. But Ding, from stage 3 of Season 2 onward, was just crushing on this hero, and Shanghai was one of the first teams to really super adapt the Pharah, and we're seeing exactly why. And then the offseason, all they did was just add more talent. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's just not fair. The team is too good. Or
I mean,
seemingly,
you've got DM sitting on the bench right now.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's very much a almost a shock situation where they have just a ridiculous talent pool, and yeah, some teams wondering how that's fair, but that's just how it be. Leave is actually going to jump onto the Ash. I was about to say not McCree. Thank you.
No, I think we've run that joke enough into the ground. Luckily, no one from Blizzard's watching, so it's okay.
We're good. We're safe. Under the gaze of 1 AM casts.
If Leave gets a single kill on Ash this round, it'll be better than his first round on Ash.
He's going to have to actually get into this race and actually do the killing, which is going to be the problem. The high ground is almost permanently taken up, it feels like. They're doing a fair bit of damage and actually forcing out Jinmu here to play a lot more passively, leaving Ding open to a lot of damage in the front line. 7 seconds now remains. Hunters are going to have to actually touch that payload and just roll it back. They eventually get it, but it's Dragons' map to actually win. Molly gets hacked once more. Not the perfect hack target, but is better than nothing. Lee Jae-gong ends up going down with a beautiful double direct from a Jinmu, and now Luffy, yeah, wondering where those rockets are coming from, right from the back line, as both supports now fall for the Dragons, and now the damage being permanent, and even a resurrection onto Jinmu to add salt to the wounds.
Yeah, gonna get him back, but that's just Jinmu carrying. He hits double direct in the sky, taking out the Mercy. Obviously, of the 2 targets you can take down, you want the Mercy first. Everyone else can take down a Pharaoh without a Mercy is like, you know, peanut butter without jelly. It's alright, but it's not quite as good.
Or do my special, the peanut butter and the Nutella, the chocolate spread.
I thought you were gonna say banana, but in a British accent, like banana.
Well, we can do that later. We can discuss accents later. There's the Nano on Jinmu, flying straight towards the back line. Then if you do the same, though, the Dragons. Sting is going to get Nano. The Lip is falling pretty low. Needs to be kept up and alive here as he's got the EMP and potentially the game-winning ult. Leave is trapped in a corner in a very dark place. The barrage lands straight on top of him, but a beautiful sleep will help take out Ding. But Lip doing work in the front line is the Hunters. Oh, they step off the point. Oh, the C9. Unfortunate. That was a perfect opening too. They managed to kill off Ding with the sleep. They step off the payload for a brief moment, and the longer OT has been in session, the quicker it's going to tick down, mind you, as well. Well, look how they actually opened up this fight, though. A beautiful double direct from Jinmu. He's really trying hard to carry this team to victory.
It's getting sweaty. Yeah, I mean, it's just a nice shot to get a Mercy who's guardian angeling away too. The trajectory is actually a little more predictable when she's doing that, though, so that takes advantage of that. There's not a lot of predictable trajectories in the sky, especially with how slow comparatively the rockets in this game move, as opposed to other games with rocket launchers. Trying to hit mid-air directs in Overwatch it's a skill unto its own. No other game really translates to it, so the people who are able to hit these mid-air rockets have just been doing nothing but practicing mid-air rockets. But the Guardian Mercy is actually a little easier to hit because you know where she's going, kind of-ish, whereas trying to hit just a floating Pharah is just, no. I guess they might go there. I'm going to shoot a rocket there, and I hope.
Well, Jinmu's been flexing a little bit on the Pharah. But look at that, 23 meters stands in the way of Shanghai Dragons to cap. Almost 5 minutes in the time bank as well. Seems like an almost unlosable situation, like I mentioned in the last round. Lip, all he needs is really an EMP. But this is going to get slept off the back of it. It's going to be, once again, commences the dance in the skies with Ding versus Jinmu.
Yeah, Fearless has been slept most of this game. That's just the Winston life right now. Leave gets a kill!
Oh, and Jinmu finds up another one. Nice, not bad start, boys. Keep it up. Now we gotta just make sure we keep Leave alive. This is the reason why they picked him up on this Ash at the end of the day, because you need to just pressure out the top of the map. Ding, as soon as he's pressured, Jinmu just gets so much more space to work with.
Yeah, it's not been the greatest Ash so far, but I respect the commitment to it. Jinmu gets another kill. That's just going to slow down this push even more. Can't really do much, and Lip is having a hard time charging this EMP. Granted, they still do have, like, a little shy of 4 minutes.
Thanks for the assist.
Yeah, still got a lot of time, but
It's not time to panic, not time to switch comps.
actually the EMP up is what we need. Got Nano for Luffy. I wonder if they're going to use that fairly early to kind of force something out. That would probably be the best way of using it. Nano, there you go, straight onto Ding. So now he can just do a lot of damage from the back. Luffy ends up falling, though, to Among of all people. I believe he got damage boosted there as well, you can see. And another nice kill onto Ding instantly as well. Lee Jae-gong goes for the res, and you can see an instant kill onto Ding in the skies, and then the Mercy, when this what happened, you got the support up, but your DPS are dead. Lip ends up getting headshot as well across the map. This time bank not looking as strong as it used to.
Yeah, speaking of strong, Bob is about to hit the field. Nano Bob, you cowards, you got it going. I think you're saving the Nano for Jinmu. The Nanos are never going into the tanks here. Like, sometimes you used to see like a Nano Winston, but you'll only see that probably come in if Somber and Anna aren't together at the time, because they're just too easy to sleep in tank.
Ollie luckily got that nade off on himself. Hack onto Leave, he's going to get nanoed. Yeah, just to basically save him at this point. Nano Dynamite's around the corner. That does a fair bit of damage as well as Leave. Just sending out Bob onto the point. Luffy ends up going down. Look at those assists. He's in the room just guarding it. Well, no escape for
He's
Void.
the bouncer. You can't get down here. You can't get out of here.
Are you serious? A Dynamite in the air ends up taking out Ding. Lee Jae-gong ends up going down as well. This
Yeah, he is
It's
making up for the
disaster
first half. The
for the
first half
Dragons.
defense by Ash from Leave was Well, nothing to write home about. Literally a blank page. Got nothing done. Neither did any of his team, though. His entire team mustered 3 total kills. But right now, we're seeing him make it work, and it's fun. How can you not be a fan of Chengdu? They're the only team that's going to like run this hatch consistently. Other teams have toyed with it, so it's not unique.
Nice EMP, this is it, this is what you need to hear, but the problem is you've got an ulting Mercy in the skies and already Ding's going to go down. Can Lee Jae-gong actually resurrect him? I'm not sure he can. A rather risky one, he doesn't manage to get off in time. Self-destruct high in the sky, kills off Leave. That's the opening they need. Ding can now play aggressive, but he gets res! Molly ends up falling though as Fearless finds the opportunity to do that, so as Yveltal wasn't there to heal him on up. This is the opening Dragons needed. It just took almost everything in the playbook to make it work. Luffy waiting on the Nano though, and the EMP not being available might be a problem for Ding to get off this barrage, but they only need a few more meters to take the W on this map.
They're going to have Nano Barrage, and Chengdu is making a lot of changes right now, so they're going to really rely on Molly nanoing somebody, maybe Amon here. But they're in a really tough situation. A minute left though, probably only 2 fights, but I like that Shanghai's playing really far forward, trying to get as much free push as possible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what you need in this situation. Just force Chengdu Hunters back. Force them to play in a position where they have to just rush in. Nano Barrage from the skies. That Matrix not doing all too much. Molly and Luffy end up trading, though. This is not bad for the Hunters just yet. Amon is going to be on the point. Nanoed up, but so low. Ding takes out Elsa. This should be it. Hunters now moving on to the point, one by one, to try and stall it out. Leave ended up getting hacked. Amon finds his way back onto it, but little to no avail as Void ends up taking him out. Self-destruct. Victory screen stretches across your screen. I don't know where I was going with that one. Shanghai Dragons end up taking the map 2-0 in the series and setting themselves up for match point.
Yeah, there's words on a screen. I get where you're going with. I feel bad for Molly there. He felt that Elsa was going to keep him alive, so he kept pushing forward. Elsa turns tail with the defense matrix and turns around. Molly dies. Everything falls apart after that. That one seemed pretty much inevitable. But the Chengdu Hunters, look, that first defense was just atrocious. There's no getting around that. But they bounced back, which is nice to see from their mental. They didn't give up on their strategies, which I think a lot of teams would just bail on. And Leave ended up putting it together. A good Ashe game. Generally felt a lot closer as the matches went on, as the map went on, and I'm really stoked to just continue seeing Pharah v Pharah here if we can get more of it.
Oh, potentially so. There's still a couple more maps, I hope, left.
I think
Hunters still can make to still map 5.
But I mean, this is what I was saying, like with the Charge and the Spark game as well, is running another Pharah into it makes the other Pharah's job harder. You can't just let somebody just stay in the sky and never get pressured because you don't have hit scan. Some of your best picks are just mirror picking and trying to at least put pressure on. And if you're not hitting shots, that's fine, but at least it's negating some of the damage the other Pharah can do.
Well, I want to see more Leave on Ashe. It was working him so well for them in that first point attempted hold. We're going to jump to a quick break though, guys. Do not go anywhere. Map number 3 coming up soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by ZipChair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Game Break presented by Pringles Wavy. Chengdu Hunters aren't out of this just yet. They have gone down 2 maps, but we saw signs of life at the end there with Leave on the Ash. Hex, what are we looking at?
Yeah, they played them a lot closer than the first defense would indicate. I thought that map was going to be over pretty much immediately. When a team only gets 3 kills on a defense, they just got rolled over. But I think you saw not necessarily some adjustments, but just a little bit different style of play. They got off the Ash pretty quickly. Their offense was just as good as Shanghai's. I mean, they had a couple minutes less. So, yeah, let's talk about a crunch time here, because I'm blanking on ideas, Jack. So this is not just color carrying. What do you think Chengdu has to do to bring this one back? Yeah, your opinion's important. It's valid.
Oh, thank you, Hanks. Oh, it's the first time anybody's ever said that to me.
Probably the last.
Play hit scan, play leave. That's what you got to do. Play leave, play the Ash. Make sure you put pressure on Ding. At the end of the day, if you're putting pressure on Ding from 2 angles, from the Pharah and from the Ash, you're, as Ding in that situation, you are just not having a good time. I was going to put it in a bit of a different way, but you can kind of see what I'm getting at. You are looking up into the skies, but you're also trying to then dodge out the way of this of the hit scan. But the issue is, then tanks have to kind of make up for that pressure that you're now lacking because you're playing so passive against the Fire and then the Ash. Your tanks have to be on top of leave 24/7. But then it kind of trickles back to the support line, and this is where the support structure comes in big. Is that who's in the back? It's Molly, sitting on leave. And we saw him nano there as well, because he was scared leave was going to go down, because they know leave is the key tool that they needed in order to make sure Ding can't get away with murder.
Yeah, you can't just let him get away with it. There is a interesting thing coming up next. That's Shanghai is 1-0 on Hollywood. Chengdu 0-1 on Hollywood. Hollywood, I don't know, it's a map where long-range hit scan can definitely work, but I still think that we're going to be seeing a ton of Pharah. The bad news is, overall, Chengdu is only 33% win rate on hybrid, whereas Shanghai rocking that 75%. Look, they've only lost 4 maps all year, so they're going to have high win rates on these things.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Hollywood, on your screen soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. Big crunch, big flavor.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by HyperX.
Unleash your style, unleash your fury with HyperX Fury Memory. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hunters facing up against the Dragons. Dragons narrowly avoiding death on Dorado at the end of Leave's rifle. That was a rather scary time when your 5-minute time bank almost gets reduced to 0 in OT as you do. And yeah, they did end up finding the cap, of course, but it was a rather risque 5 minutes to say the least. We're jumping on to Hollywood as our next map.
Yeah, Hollywood is a really interesting map for Shanghai, especially because in 2019, Shanghai went 0-8-1 on Hollywood. They didn't win Hollywood all year. They finally got over it. They did defeat the Charge on Hollywood earlier this year. It's kind of hard to compare teams from year to year, especially a team like Shanghai, but you know, it's fun for the history books to look at previous map records. On this one, I mean, I just expect to see more FAR. It's a very decent FAR map. Maybe not in second point if there's long-range hit scan, but if a team's not running long-range hit scan, you could just kind of own the rooftop. So I expect to see more of the same, as Hollywood is my favorite map. It's also where I reside now, so I can look out and see the signs. And it's nice to just see the sun out, even if it's digital.
Yeah. Wow.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Small victories, Jack. Small victories.
I mean, the sun. Wait, what time is it now? I mean, the sun's coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, a couple hours. Yeah.
A couple hours, yeah. Might as well stay up, see the sun. No, I'm not staying up. We've both been shifting our sleep schedules just a little bit for these games.
Yeah,
it's been all right, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not been too bad.
Late
I
night
usually wake up. I wake up
late.
at like 11, and then I take a nap in the middle of the day and
Yeah.
try to, get my 8 in. Trying not to wake up like a normal human being, which I was totally comfortable with, waking up at 10 a.m. every day and having a normal life. But all sense of normalcy has left the world, and I'm just going along for the ride.
I just play Q every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's
sometimes
I wake up and have like coffee and Hearthstone, and then I try to take a midday nap. That's what I do.
Yeah, well, mine. I was
very
talking to Mitch about
leisurely
this
life.
actually. He was like, "So what game do you used to like chill out with?" I'm like, "What? What do you mean?"
Do you want to?
No,
You want to hear?
I just
You want to hear my answer that always confuses people? I play Cuphead to relax.
You're a crazy person.
I find it really relaxing is that I can control everything that happens. I don't have to rely on other people. But we are in a game of Overwatch, and Leave is back on the Ash. And this is exactly where you want to set up as hit scan. In the little cafe, it's where Soldier Mate is living for a long time.
Uh-oh. Phyllis is on Wrecking Ball, though. He's got to get up to that cafe, but he's going to have a tough time doing so. I did see Lip actually just run around the back, trying to set something up there. There we go. That's the kill that they want. Leave gets turned into jam into the cafe. Amos going pretty low as well. Phyllis and Lib doing so much work in the back. They're so close to killing off the Mercy as well. Sleep will go straight towards Phyllis, but they've done the damage. That's it. Jimmy's going to go down as well, and Phyllis can basically just sit on the payload. I say that as Lee Jae-Gong just runs into the shield, although the rest of the team are going to get cleaned up. Among's going to find a couple of kills, but the heals have dissipated. And that'll be Ding now just taking over the game from the skies.
Fearless gets a running start right into the wall there, a little bit funny, but he did his job. His job was to get to the back line and disrupt. He almost got Eviltal during that fight, but Eviltal being very slippery. So slippery, though, that he is going to switch off, and he's going to the Lucio instead. Leave just trying to buy some time on that Tracer. Not going to happen. Compositional switches here for the Chengdu Hunters. They get off of the Pharah, off of the Ash. And it doesn't seem like Shanghai is going to switch this. Why would you? A whole bunch of check marks in their column.
Yeah, Leave. I was kind of curious there if Leave actually did want to switch up, but I think the issue is with Leave right now. If he switches over to an Ash and doesn't have a Mercy pocket, he's just not going to get these kills. So I think that's why he's staying. It's like going there full dive centric. Molly actually gave up a nano to go onto the Moira. EMP in the back though. Elsa instantly deleted. Ding also got hacked, but he's going to get pocketed to no end by Lee Jae-Gong in the skies. The hack wears off, and now he can just chase down the rest of the Hunters. A resurrection onto Fearless 2 will bring them back to full fighting strength.
Yeah, I feel like Elsa spent a great deal of time in this match out of his mech, and that's brutal when you're facing this non-stop Pharah aggression. It's just been cleaned up too many times. The Matrix is just not there to protect him, and that's how you get these snowball kind of scenarios here. Elsa died really early in that last fight, or even just getting him out of the mech is fine. And then there's nothing to stop this damage coming in constantly. Shanghai used 2 ultimates there, an EMP and a barrage, halfway towards getting both again. This is looking like the Dorado defense.
That's a big EMP though. That self-destruction going to come out as well. Hiding behind the payload is Ding. Leave is just dealing damage to the back line. Luffy ends up nading himself though, forcing the recall onto Leave. He's going to have to play a little bit more passive, or maybe not so much, as the Orb is going to, the healing Orb's going to follow him through. Luffy ends up going down. A couple of meters before the payload got delivered, but it was the EMP from Jinmu that set this fight on up. 2.5 meters were there, but the Dragons are going to have to go once again. A lot of ultimates on board though, or DPS ultimates at least. That barrage and the EMP coming online in this next fight.
It's a perfect place to stop though. A second point before a hybrid map, you know, King's Row stopping him at second too. The spawn is so far away for the offense here to come in. And Chengdu bought themselves time to get ultimates up. They're going to have Coalescence, which we've seen be very good against a Pharah Mercy combo, at least push them out. And then the barrier can be good too, but that barrier versus the EMP is a micro battle as old as time. Liv has it now.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened previously. Now he's just hunting for the Lucio. I believe he's down by the bar. There he is. Yes, you can see him far away, but is he going to be able to get the team in time? He can't quite save Among. That was a 3-man beat, sorry. 4 if you include his himself. Among and Lip end up trading, but with Ding going down, this is it, I think, for Dragons. Ding falling there was rather disastrous. I mean, the EMP was almost perfect. Also ends up falling, but he was demegged, so it's a little bit more of a no worries. Cart is still moving, but spawn advantage does rely with the Hunters. Sleep from Luffy onto Amon, earned himself a nano. Now the Primal Rage is wreaking havoc in the back line as Ding finds himself back in the fight. The recalling on the payload, and now he can't play as aggressive. As I say that, Jinmu unleashes the EMP. Pulse Bomb launched over the payload, didn't quite get anything, as the nano did help Ding stay alive. Direct rocket onto Elsa as the rest of the Hunters are going to get clinged on up. A couple of meters now remains. Fearless finds 2, and point 2 now is captured. 3 minutes in the time bank, Hex.
That was really strange. Leave is one of my favorite players, but he seemed to not take that fight seriously. Like, Shanghai had lost both of their damage healers, but they weren't leaving by any means. And Fearless and Void were staying in there doing damage. Both the healers were fine. I think he was trying to take high ground to push the healers off, but he just was out of the fight. He took himself out of the fight for a really long time, and they ended up losing that.
Ding ends up going down early on, but an instant resurrection. Among is just not having a good time at all in this game. He's just getting naded, hacked, slept. Can't really do all too much. Self-destruct on the payload though creates a lot of space, but everybody's able to get out rather easily. Coalescence wearing off now for the Hunters. The Dragons are going to be able to move forward with a 3 nano basically. Once again, like I mentioned before, Among having a horrible time as the barrage just lands on his back. And now the Dragons can set up for success. They're going to be able to control this mega pack. Molly's having a hard time healing everybody up as the juice was just running out. He even gets EMP'd at the end of it all as well. The Dragons continue their steamroll.
They just keep rolling on through here. The Chengdu Hunters do have a release valve here in an EMP. Pulse Bomb will be up, but that's just to get to the back line. Shanghai. Wonder where this nano goes, because you kind of think you can win the fight now. I think the nano just goes on Ding anyway. Molly goes down early.
Nano wants to Ding as well. He's going to be basically immortal. Big bio grenade onto the front line. Leave at least finds one with the pulse bomb. In Luffy in the back. It's now just him versus the world. It feels like self-destruct high in the sky. That gave enough time for Lee J Gong to find the res as well. It's just all on Leave once more as these bio grenades have just been so good. Luffy is just on fire on the support. 1 minute and 29 seconds remaining, 0.59 meters. Luckily, Amon gets back to the payload in time to be burnt down in an instant. The Dragons end up capping 3rd. A nice little chunk of change in their time bank as well, as the Hunters now have their chance to it.
Yeah, that was reminiscent of the first part of Dorado there, wasn't it? Chengdu did give a little bit more of a fight that happened there, but I mean, this map is so difficult once you end up losing the points and end up losing the high ground. That's when you saw Chengdu completely switch their composition, and they had mostly low ground healers, so no one was ever really able to play high ground. That might be the reason why Leave went on his little journey to try to get to the high ground, ended up costing them this second fight. But Shanghai, once you're in control of with the Pharah, I mean, it's really hard for the other team to stop. It's kind of like Assault. When a Pharah is established, you're in a great spot. Oh, please do it, Ding. Yeah, let's get some more Ash.
Ooh, okay, nice. This is what I like to...
Oh, I'm fine with this too.
I'm
yeah,
fine with
totally
this. Yeah, I'm fine with
this
this too. It's Junkrat, okay. All right.
Ding's got a good Junkrat. It's fun to watch. Oh, come on, what is happening here?
No, come on.
I feel so trolled. Usually you're pretty safe calling the offense, but I guess given today...
Oh, they're on defense.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what I meant. Generally pretty safe calling the defense because they've left spawn, but it's fine. I mean, Shanghai, there's really no need to switch things up here. They look pretty dominant on their side of the map. They're trying to just close this one out, get some sleep. Although I don't know what time it is for them.
I think I'm not even.
It's got to be a reasonable hour. So it can't be this hour.
Crazy.
I think it's 6 p.m. in Australia. I got that from my Twitter feed. If that helps you at all.
It's 8 p.m. in Korea.
There you go. We're getting close.
We are triangulating time zones currently within a game of Overwatch to determine what time it is in China/Korea. It's about 8 p.m. There you go. Right.
There you go. Perfect.
The Dragons just trying to fend off this assault from the Hunters. Now Ding versus the world at this point. Jinmu's going to have to find a nice hack here. The skybox is pretty low on this map, so Jinmu can actually go fairly aggressive onto Ding here if he wants to. He's going to choose to actually hack Void instead. Still, you can see the health bar is just depleting from the Hunters. Nice little sleep on the back line from Luffy. These sleeps have been crazy. As Yveltal tried to find a little bit of action back there, but he ends up getting taken out. This is going to be it for the Hunters. Like, the problem with this Moira in this situation is that the juice is going to run pretty thin because the amount of incoming spam damage that you are taking as you try and assault the point.
I mean, what's so impressive with Luffy's sleeps is that it seems like it's just an insta-kill. The way his team follows up on him, you think back and like, I can follow that. If he hits a sleep dart, they're dead. They're constantly dead because he waits for them to be out of position. Nice 1v1. Super nice 1v1.
The pulse almost lands as well, the follow-up from the monkey. However, Lijigon keeping Luffy alive. He sends out the nano just in case that he ends up going down. The rocket barrage from Ding does kill off Amon, who went for that risky dive. A resurrection from Lijigon as well. The Dragons are just so good. They're just on the same page. It's like it's just a single mass of brain is just playing this game of Overwatch. Because like you said, these sleeps from Luffy are guaranteed kills, and these support pickups from Lijigon, just knowing Luffy is getting dove, instantly popping the Valkyrie, and then a nano from Luffy from Ding barrages Amon, who dived Luffy. It's just incredible Overwatch from the Dragons.
It's poetry in motion. It really is. Every part is doing their job, and they're all in the right spot at the right times. It's what's impressive about Shanghai is they seem like they're playing mistake-free Overwatch, and that's very difficult to do.
That EMP is pretty good though. Ding is keeping himself alive, just rocket jumping away. And a counter EMP did come through, landing on the Hunters, and there you go. The back line and front line, in fact, just falling over.
Amon got
1 minute and 20 seconds.
Amon got slept again, and we know what happens when people get slept by Luffy.
They
die. Yeah,
pretty quick. Funnily enough. They now have one opportunity, really. I mean, it's only a minute left. They don't have the EMP they used it last fight. They're running into a nano barrage, plus the self-destruct hex.
10 enemies slept so far this map for Luffy.
Absolute crazy human being. Right, 60 seconds remains. You can hear Athena call it out. D.Va's trying to go for a big wraparound. That's a good start, though. Lib ends up falling, and now the Coalescence actually to pressure out the top side as well. Luffy falls for that Coalescence, but gets the nano off just in time. Yveltal may have gone down, but they still have Molly to back them up with the healing. Lijigon actually got nanoed, I believe, in that engagement. He did get stuck at the end as well, though. The resurrection did end up going through, and Fearless keeping everybody alive or keeping the point alive, sorry, as he does manage to kill Leave. Both Molly and Leave have fallen down. Yveltal's going to come back with a beat. The Dragons might not be able to contest this. Lijigon's Valkyrie's going to end momentarily, but Lip's going to be able to come back with an EMP. It's the tale once again of two Sombras. The beat from Yveltal keeping everybody up nice and healthy. Jinmu's pretty low. The EMP comes out from Lip as the barrage as well is going to rain death from above as Yveltal ends up falling over, but Leave comes up clutch, killing both the Pharah and the Mercy.
They try to get that resurrection in, but that was a little bit of an ambitious and hopeful resurrection. This one is not entirely over yet. The tank play has been so good. Luffy's keeping everybody alive. Boy, it is not going to get over that.
This should be it now.
That's it.
Yeah, there's no way. You haven't got a main healer left. It's only Lidio gone on his Lucio. And there we go. Struggling at the end, though, for the Hunters. 2 minutes and 20 seconds moving towards the streets phase.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really kind of just proud of Fearless. He took a lot of guff in this first couple of seasons in this league, and he's actually been playing really well. I mean, he's getting slept, but that's just a hazard of playing Winston. He's getting a lot of damage done, doing a lot of final blows. Yeah, I mean, he got called out like almost nonstop.
Disgusting pulse bomb. Straight onto Luffy. Yeah, that's that backline going down. The res target here is definitely going to be Luffy in this situation, I feel. But he is going to end up spawning. Same with Fearless. Yeah, Lee Jae-gong doesn't really want to risk it at all. Not with the diving squad. That is the D.Va, the Monkey, and the Tracer. Even Liv's getting forced out. I think you don't really need to force anything here. The carters take quite a while to actually go around 2 seconds, plus you have EMP to work with.
Yeah, you're fine. There's 90 seconds left on the clock, so winning 2 fights here for Shanghai. They don't have to force it. Stopping it here or stopping it a meter away from the door doesn't really change anything. Ding goes down to Amon. It looks like a solo kill, too.
Yeah, maybe so. Coalescence was lighting up the sky, though, from Molly, so potentially that did end up helping. Still, it's like we're actually watching it in reverse. It's the Dragons were getting pick up to pick up to pick up the Hunters, and they couldn't do anything, and now it's completely the opposite way. Ding with Nano has got Barrage, but he doesn't need it. Givelto ends up going down, chasing the other support too. Molly ends up falling. Ding still alive on the payload. 2 meters now remains of 4 Hunters to try and gate and sink this one in. There's going to be a Primal Rage on point from Amon, but is anybody actually going to be able to touch? Lip has fallen, yes, but spawn priority does lie in the hands of the Dragons, plus they have ults to work with, and EMP is good, sinking the Fire and Mercy down to everybody else's level. Amon still kept alive somehow as the self-destruct did go over the top. In fact, Fearless was trying to bat people into it, but didn't quite end up finding it. Luffy ends up getting resurrected to get instantly killed off yet again by Yveltal. And now Amon controlling the rafters as he does chase down Lip. A swift punch to the jaw, and he will end up falling as well. Hunters, by the skin of their teeth, once more are going to be able to sink this payload in. It's still looking fairly good. They can get it in OT, but it's going to be a struggle.
That ending melee kill just makes me think of a tweet our statistician, Matt Marcel, made earlier today. He's like, well, he may not have gotten any Primal Rage kills, but Amon did finish somebody with a melee today, so he's learning. And I guess he is learning the Winston on the go there, too. Look, I mean, it's a small thing. It's, you know, what people generally know, but a lot of his damage will come from those melees to finish stuff. Winston just tickles, and when someone's being pocketed, like his opponent was there, you got to finish with the melee, so... It's a small thing, but it matters.
The kind of 3 taps leave there. A little bit of extra damage landed this way as well. Nice barrage in the front. Now, once again, Hunters find themselves in the same situation as they have been a couple of times on this map already. 1 minute in their time bank, 1 real fight to win this payload to push it on forward, but it's going to be a staggered one if that as well for the Dragons because their spawn is so close. I was just trying to build. Look how far he's playing up. He's going to have to get the mech back soon. In fact, Dragons are trying to deny this as much as possible. They know Elsa being out of this mech for so long is going to be disastrous. Speaking of that, EMP comes out, lands straight on top of him. Another melee kill for Fearless. Make that 2 as Molly ends up going down as well. 20 seconds remains to keep Hunters in this series, Hex.
5 ultimates to be able to do so as well. They can meter these out however they want. Jinmu, of course, with the EMP is going to be so important. You'd like to see the Mercy get this Valk off, and that's very likely why they're hiding so far up here. Spotted out, though.
They know. EMP did come out, hit 2 in the important targets too. Lee Jae-gong and Ding are getting a hack, but Jinmu already ends up going down, put himself in a risky position to make sure he can get the EMP off. The beat comes through, hits 5 from the Hunters. They still got ults to spare as well, but Fearless doing what he does best, using that Primal Rage to knock everybody around, forcing Molly back away from the rest of the team so he can't heal anybody up. He's going to get hacked, but the space has been created. Both Winstons end up trading. Spawn priority not really in enemy's favor right now, but Ding controls the skies once again. The barrage couldn't come through at any point. No Nano to back it up with, but they just need to force them off the payload. Leave is going to go down, and 1 by 1, the Hunter fall as Dragons finish this series up with a 3-0.
looking very strong, and they're playing, you know, what some would call the Chengdu meta with running the far enough. But, you know, if you remember just last year, Shanghai made this their own as well. So this was going to be a mirror match regardless. The hero pools, of course, helped this week where you couldn't run a McCree or a Widow, so it was going to be Pharah week. I'm fine with it. I love seeing Pharah weeks. And let me give you one guess there. Jaws, Jack, friend of mine, late night compatriot. Who do you think player of the match is?
Well, I have a cheat code, Hex. I have a producer whispering.
That's right. That's right. I forgot you could hear as well.
It's going to be Luffy is your player of the match. Surprise, surprise. His sleeps have just been crazy. And like I said at the first point of Hollywood, they are just one singular entity, this one singular mass of brain just playing together because everything is just so in tune. Asleep, like you mentioned, guarantees a kill. He's been not only defending himself the majority of the time, fending off every dive Hunters can throw at him, but he's also assisting his team just so perfectly in keeping himself safe and landing crucial sleeps and forcing Among into horrible situations.
And you have to imagine just that's a sign of clean comms. You know, they're not crowded, they're not overwhelming. Like, slept behind dumpster him, everything like that happened. If you've been watching my Overwatch League YouTube series in my sites, I can give you a pretty good clue of who I'm going to pick. I just don't know which map to pick for Luffy. Eichenwalde looked good. He looks good on Oasis. He looked good on Hollywood. So going to probably get him in that series as soon as possible. We need some good Ana play, and I can't think of a better example we've seen lately. Just hit every dart. And beyond that, like, he's playing with a Pharah and a Mercy, too. So there's a lot of pressure on him to keep tanks alive, for him to stay alive, to get in a position where his Pharah can help him if he's in trouble, to get in position with his tanks if they're in trouble and they can protect him. But it just seems like he has all the angles figured out, and that sleep dart was just an insta-kill. It's like having a Widow, as if he hits a dart, you're dead.
Yeah, a perfectly oiled machine that are the Dragons, and you hit the dart and they die, and that was the story of the entire game. And it's a pretty hard ability to hit at the best of times as well, Hex.
Yeah, and now this Shanghai team will go to 6-1, I believe. The only blemish being their opening match, which was against the Chengdu Hunters. They got 0-3'd on that one. Chengdu showed some spirit, a little better than, I mean, Guangzhou has swept everyone else. So Chengdu is at least showing a little bit of signs of life. They seem to be firmly implanted as the second best team in this kind of round robin that we're running out here in this region. But right now, Shanghai Dragons look absolutely legit. No meta has slowed them down. Ding's Pharah is good. The Sombra's really good. I think they're going to be able to adapt to any sort of meta that comes out, and you get support play like that, and you're going to go far.
I think so. Right, that is going to be it for us this evening. We're going to see you guys very, very soon. My name is Jaws. That has been Hex, of course. We're going to sign offline. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.